Every single guru right now is telling you how to hunt for winning products the exact same way. And that's precisely why most dropshipping stores are failing in 2025. Look, I get it. You're probably thinking, great, another video that's telling me what I'm doing wrong. But here's the thing. I was exactly where you are right now, following all these YouTube videos, buying the guru courses, testing these so-called winning products. And this was my dashboard after burning through thousands in Facebook ads. But then I discovered something that completely changed everything. And it's actually the opposite of what every product research video is teaching right now. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you why most dropshippers are looking for products in completely the wrong way, the exact framework that I used to go from eating literal ramen noodles to hitting my first 1K days. And most importantly, what actually matters for building a real brand in 2025. Let me prove this to you with two real stores. One that has the perfect product that can't scale, and the other that is doing millions with what most would say is a basic product. The difference, it's actually not what you think. Here's what most people miss about product research, especially in 2025. Everyone is obsessed with finding these quote unquote winning products. You know, they spend hours scrolling through TikTok, checking endless product research tools, trying to spot the next viral hit. But after analyzing hundreds of successful stores and building multiple seven-figure e-commerce brands, I've realized something that changed everything. Check this out. Here are two stores in the exact same niche, both selling phone cases, both launched around roughly the same time. So first we have Casetify. Maybe you guys have seen them before. Maybe you haven't, but regardless, pretty reputable brand. Website looks really nice. And then on the other hand, we have Element Cases. Now, Element Cases, this brand right here, they did everything by the book. You know, things like military grade protection. You know, we're talking about dropping this phone case from 20 feet plus and it being okay. Premium materials like aircraft quality aluminum. You can see how they've structured their website and who they're trying to attract. Technical engineering focus, and then higher price points. You know, we're looking at some of these phone cases are $250. Basically, what they did is they built what most people would call the perfect product. But I want you to watch this. Now, while Element Cases was focusing on product research, Caseify, they took a completely different approach, and we can just look at the numbers. This is Caseify. You can see 2.7 million followers. We look at the reels, the engagement that they get is absurd. 500K here. They just posted this one. So 50K, 40K, 300K, 90K. Lots and lots of views, a very engaging community. But here is where it gets really, really interesting if we go a little bit deeper into their analytics. So you can see right here, total visits, which is already down 3.68% from last month, 6.3 million website visitors. You heard that right. Ridiculous global rank. They're 3,940. We can see the top countries, United States. They got a lot of direct and then organic. And then of course, you know, they're running paid ads, social. So the numbers look amazing. And so what I want to do right now is I want to just break this down into somewhat of a simple calculation for you guys so you can get an idea of what exactly these numbers mean. So we just saw that they're doing about 6.3 million store visitors or website visitors a month. What we're going to do, just going to do like a basic calculation. We see that their products are priced around like $60 plus per case average. Okay, let's just say that each person on average orders 1.5 cases. So let's just do like on the low end, let's do 60 times 1.5. I know that AOV is a lot higher than this, but let's just say on the low end, we have $90 average order value, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to take this 6.3 million right here, and we're going to multiply this by the industry average conversion rate. Now, also, mind you, website's very nice. They probably have a higher conversion rate than 3%. We're just going to go on the low end. So we're going to multiply this right here by 0.003. Now what this is going to do is this is going to give us their estimated amount of orders per month. So they're, let's just say, doing 18,900 orders a month. So then we're going to do is we're going to multiply that by that average order value, let's just say 90. And so this is what we can project their average monthly revenue to be based off of these store sessions, 1.7 million. So they're making a lot of money. As you can see, as I mentioned, they're probably making even more given that the average order value, one, is already probably higher, and two, the conversion rate is higher. So they're probably doing somewhere around $2 to $3 million a month selling these cases that more or less not primarily focused on quality premium materials, stuff that the Element cases is. And what I want to do now is compare that to Element cases. So we can see right here, the past month, they have done 9,000 store sessions, website visits. You know, we can just make an assumption that their average order value is, let's just even go on the high end, $150, okay? Let's just say that. We're gonna do the calculation again. So we'll do 9,000 times 0.003. This is gonna give us the amount of orders. So they're only about doing 27 orders, 30 orders a month, give or take. That times 150. So this is what we came up. $4,000 compared to $2 to $3 million. There's a big difference here. Now you might be thinking, Andy, these numbers are great, but what does this actually mean for me when I'm looking for products? Well, I'm gonna tell you, while Element Cases was busy adding more features and improving their product, Caseify, what they did is that they understood something way more powerful, and that's people aren't just buying phone cases. They are buying into a lifestyle, an identity. And I know this works because I literally learned this the hard way. See, my first store was actually, funny enough, an iPhone accessory store. I was doing exactly what Element Cases was doing. Premium protection features. I was focused on high quality materials, multiple colorways and designs, things that I thought would sell. I was trying to paint the picture for the absolute perfect product. Now look, these things, they do in fact matter, but they're not what makes the difference between burning money and actually making sales. Now, I remember very vividly surviving on the absolute cheapest meals in college, chicken, rice, pasta. If you know, you know. Just to save every little dollar that I could to put into Facebook ads. And guess what? All that money that I saved and invested into Zuckerberg, I got one sale. It was like my first day of testing, which was sick. Yeah, but then after that, nothing. Absolute nothing for weeks. And at that point, I had to be real with myself. One, did I want to keep eating this chicken rice pasta with literally zero results to show for it after spending all my money on Facebook ads? Two, why was this quote unquote perfect product getting no sales? Then something changed everything. At literally, funny enough, the perfect timing, my buddy Steven, I gotta give him all the credit here. He actually showed me this phone case that I'm gonna put on screen. It was my first winning product. Now, if you're not into sneakers, you're probably looking at this thing and you're like, I don't get it. And trust me, I was exactly the same. That was my reaction. I didn't get it. So what I did is I started to dig a little bit deeper, and I asked my friends about it, friends that I knew that were encompassed in this community. And I researched the community, and I found out that this design was based on a specific type of shoe, which were these Sean Witherspoon Air Max 97 shoes. Okay? A shoe that at the time was selling for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. You heard that right. Hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Right here, StockX. 549, or this isn't StockX, but StockX, I think I saw it was like $800. Let's see, what is it on StockX? Okay, yeah, $549. Buy now. Ridiculous. And that's when everything clicked. I realized that I was looking at a market where people were already spending serious amounts of money on their passion. They wanted ways to express their style, and even if they couldn't afford this $500, $800, $1,000 shoe, they would love to have the same design in a $30 to $40 case, which they can totally afford. But here's where it started to get super exciting for me. Now, while I was researching this niche and really just diving into the community, I came across a number of brands, specifically, if I remember properly, this one right here. These guys at the time were doing really, really good. And I know this because I got targeted by their ads. So at first, I was confused. They were selling like the weirdest things. You can see like these tiny little sneaker keychains, literal miniatures of shoes on a keychain. And I was like, what the hell? Like, how dumb do you have to be to buy something like this? But as I started studying their content, I noticed something that completely changed my perspective. At the time, they were getting a lot of attraction. They were running a lot of ads. And now I couldn't find their page on Instagram. They must have gotten banned. But I just remember seeing tons and tons of comments, people like, where can I get this? I want one. And then sharing, their pictures, sharing. I remember they would repost stories of other people with the package and then, showing off their shoe, their actual shoe that they have paired up with, one of these miniature keychains. And that's when I was like, holy crap, I got something on my hands. So yeah, it looks like they did get banned. They had way more followers than this, but you can see pretty cool stuff. But that's when I really started to understand the point. These weren't just accessories. They were giving people in the hypebeast community a way to show off their passion, their identity, a way to really just express themselves. And this completely changed how I approached my store. So what I did was I started with redesigning my entire product line with this hypebeast style aesthetic. I created content that spoke directly to the community. So using terminology, they would a lot of times use words like fire, drops, hypebeast, whatever. And I positioned my cases as a part of this streetwear culture vibe. So then after that, immediately after I started implementing these changes, I went from burning money on ads, losing money, to hitting my first 1K day. And you can see it on the clip that I'm gonna pull up right now. My store, the name was Hype Turf at the time.
No, bro, and he's about to hit 1K. Look at this. Look. Look at this. And then he just got, boom, 132. He's about to hit 1K. He's $3 away. You got how much?
But here's the $1 million question. If finding winning products isn't about features, quality, or even the price, what actually matters in 2025? Now, success boils down to 3 key elements. But before I show you these elements, I want you to remember that whether you're solving a real problem or tapping into someone's passion, it all comes down to understanding truly what motivates your market to buy, okay? So number 1 is community passion. So this is about finding markets where people are already actively sharing their collection, like for the example with the sneakerheads, showing their setups. They were sharing their actual shoe with the keychain shoe, sharing the case with their actual shoe. It was a way to express themselves and their identity, speaking their own language. So think about a group of people that have their own lingo, right? So that's kind of what you're looking for. And then 3, spending serious money on their passion. Now, quick little example. When I saw these sneakerheads that were spending thousands and thousands of dollars, and actually that's not even an expensive shoe right here. Like there's some shoes that go for thousands and thousands of dollars. And there's these people that will wait in line or I remember getting a little bit into the hype culture, and I would, my buddies buy this shoe and then you can resell it. And so I would do that. I would wake up at 7 a.m., click the buy now button as soon as I could at 7 a.m. and then, try and cop a shoe, as they would say in the streetwear type of lingo. Anyway, as I was saying, when I saw these people spending thousands and thousands of dollars, putting all their time into this craft, whatever you want to call it, I knew that they would spend at least $40 on a matching phone case, or at least they could afford to. Now, the problem that I was solving here was that I was helping them complete their aesthetic, right? In this specific case, it wasn't about protection, but it was about their identity. Okay, 2, content creation potential. Now, your product needs to create those I need to share this type of moments for people. Now, clean aesthetic shots that stop the scroll, tells a story about who they are, and then it's easy to pair with other products that they already love. What I do want to say is that our best performing Facebook ads at the time were just clean aesthetic product shots and a very simple video that was really just showcasing the product with the matching sneaker. Now we tested all kinds of different angles, but these simple showcase style ads consistently performed the best for us. Okay, and then 3, scale opportunity. Here is what you need for real growth. You need multiple design variations. What you can think of is like various colorways, various modifications to the products, and maybe even potential collabs going down the road. Natural product extensions, like how we went from, I was selling the various cases to, and also did end up selling these little mini sneaker keychains, but I started with the iPhone cases and then I expanded out to AirPod cases. This was a very easy upsell, and you can see it's actually kind of cool, right? It was like, it was just like the shoe on top, and then you flip it open and then you have the case or the insert itself. And then, as I was kind of just going into, clear upsell opportunities. So bundles, collections, other products that are, complementary, that work well, that fit well. Of course, you want to be mindful that you just don't want to throw anything on there. It has to actually fall in line with what you are already selling. And then one thing to keep in mind as well is logistics. The cases were really good because they were lightweight. It was like literally silicone, easy to store, which is ideal for maintaining really good margins when you're scaling. Trust me, weight, a lot of people don't talk about this, but weight can actually kill your profit, since the cost for shipping an item is literally just based on the size and the actual weight of the product. Now, what I do want to say is that with this brand, I had to stop selling these type of products because I was a dumb 19-year-old that, was thinking I could sell these copyright products and these logos and I'll be all good. So I don't actually recommend doing that at all. But the main thing, at least for me, great lesson learned, was that I learned a very valuable series of lessons that completely shaped how I go about approaching product research now, which of course, I am truly grateful for. Now, let me show you exactly what these 3 elements look like in action with real examples. Now, I love using the example of this company right here. I use them time and time again because they're just a great company. They're absolutely killing it right now. And they are the perfect example of how solving a real problem meets our framework. Okay, let's dive a little bit deeper into this company. So I want you to check this out. The Woobles, what they do, if you don't know, they sell these crochet kits. Right? If you guys don't know what crocheting is, it's like where you have a needle and thread and then you create these little stuffed animals, whatever. It's a great de-stressing activity. But here's what's really genius. They're not selling basic craft supplies. They're solving the biggest problem for beginners, the biggest problem that beginners face, and that's the frustration of learning how to crochet. Now, watch how they nail all 3 of these points. So we can start with community passion. You can see right here, they have real people that are sharing their progress. They also have it in the comments of, their Instagram post. You can see right here, do they come with instructions, right? Yeah, you get your QR code to scan and you can get the left-handed or right-handed version of the pattern video. They have a very active community that is supporting each other. This isn't look at how many people like this, 115 people like this 5 days ago. Then you have people that are commenting that are trying to help each other out. So an active community of people that want to help each other out because they're all a part of something together. 2, content creation. So clean, satisfying progress videos, before and after creations, transformations of what they're building. See, right here, all kinds of stuff, tons and tons of content, proud customers showing off their finished products and their finished projects. And then of course, scale potential. So they started out with these very basic beginner kits. And then what they did was they expanded into different characters. What's great about a product like this is margins are so high because, let's look at how much yarn and threads cost. Let's just literally go crochet kits. How much could this stuff possibly cost? And what are they charging? Again, crochet kits, 99 cents. It's literally yarn and needle, right? And they're charging upwards of $45 a piece in this bundle pack for $400. But the thing is that they have a very high perceived value because how they have positioned themselves in the market. Look at this. They're doing collabs with big companies that already have active communities. So you're subcategorizing a group of people, Lord of the Rings, plus people like to crochet. Look at all the collabs that they have here. It's insane. Batman, Squid Games, Lord of the Ring, Harry Potter, all of these communities already have very active groups of people that are super in tune with whatever the hell they're part of, whether that be Marvel, Harry Potter, Pac-Man. All these people are already super into what they do. But the cool thing is that, like, if you have a group of people that like to do this activity, chances are they are also interested in these things, and that's where you get people to buy all this stuff. And what we can quickly do just to validate is we can take the Woobles and just see what their monthly traffic is. Yeah, you can see 5.6 million people. I mean, we could do the basic calculation. I don't think we need to, but it's probably somewhere around the $2 to $3 million mark selling yarn and hooks. So now, do you see how they took a very common problem, which is learning how to crochet, and that it's hard. I don't know how to do it, but they turned it into a very thriving community, and that is what you are looking for. Okay, so that's that for this example, and hopefully you guys were able to get a better idea of what I'm trying to articulate here. But what I want to do is I want to show you something that a lot of people I see get wrong off of the first get go. So I'm going to show you another example really quickly. So this is where I see most people get wrong. Now I want you to take a look at this video right here. Watch it from the beginning. 3 reasons why you need this. New and improved way to take notes. Refillable paper instead. No more excuses for failing subjects. Okay. This is a pretty cool product. It's a portable mini printer. Most people, they see something like this, which is this portable mini printer, getting a ton of attention, bunch of likes, bunch of comments, and they're like, this is 100% it. I want to sell this thing. But when we look closer, what we see is just, where can I buy this? Comments, where can I buy this? Where can I buy? Where can I get? Where can I buy this? Over and over and over. There is zero real community behind this product. And I'm not saying that this specific product, you can't build out a community. I'm just saying the way that this product is angled at the moment has zero community, right? This is just full of saturated dropshippers that are selling the product. Now, do you kind of see the difference? One has a very passionate community that is absolutely ready to buy, that's involved, that's helpful, that's willing to be a part of something, be connected to something. And then on the other hand, one that's just really riding a trend, more or less. Now, after breaking down successful products like the Woobles and learning from my experience with that Sean Witherspoon case, I needed a very systematic way to find these opportunities consistently over and over again. Now, instead of scrolling through endless product research tools or watching these random, TikTok videos, I have developed one of the very useful strategies that I use, and I call it the feed conditioning method. So it's actually very simple, and a lot of you guys are probably doing this on a daily basis without even realizing it. So I'm gonna show you exactly how this works. All right, so step 1 is the algorithm training. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to pull up Instagram with me right now, and I want you to watch closely. So what most people do is they'll just literally just start scrolling and scrolling either on TikTok or Instagram, and they won't really find anything. So what we're doing here is we're trying to find 5 to 10 product ads in any niche. Doesn't matter what that niche may be. Now, what you want to consider is that whatever you engage with most that's probably what you're going to see on your page. So this might take time. You can use this same Instagram account that you currently use, but you can see right here, I just got a sponsored ad right here. So what you want to do is you want to click this shop now button. You could even save the post, engage with it, add to cart, do whatever you need to do so that Facebook sees you as an engaged shopper. Now, what's going to happen is as I continue to scroll, as I refresh, I'm going to see more and more sponsored ads that are more similar to what I just engaged with. So you can do this various times of the day. I don't suggest just sitting down for hours and hours and just endlessly trying to find products, but we're trying to engage with any type of either sponsored ad or organic ad that is showcasing a product that we can potentially sell. Because if these companies are spending money on these ads, likely they're making money back. And we can do the same validation process that I just showed you with SimilarWeb. Now, one thing, SimilarWeb, it's not free. If you guys want, I would actually highly recommend. I think it's pretty expensive. Just sign up. There's like a 7-day free trial and create a new email every like 7 days, whatever. I honestly don't think it's worth the $150 unless you're making a lot of money. So yeah, just do that. So after about 15 to 20 minutes, something really cool happens. And that's that Instagram will start showing you products that are actively making money. Step 2, this is where it's like opportunity spotting. Now, when you're scrolling through your new feed that has been transformed and really just catered towards your interests, here is what we're looking for. We're looking for posts with authentic engagement, not just where to buy type of comments that we just saw with the example that I showed you on TikTok with his mini printer. We're also looking for products that people are really excited to share. And a quick little tip, I want you to always check the comment section, because I just recently saw what looked to be a winning product, but then I looked at the comments and it was literally flooded with people saying, "Nice try, Diddy, super Diddy." It was actually kind of funny when I was seeing it. And I immediately knew like to disregard it and to avoid that product, because I was like, oh, it seems like a pretty cool product. And then I was looking at the feedback and it was like, oh, okay, very, very negative. So yeah, just really keep that in mind. Now, this method is exactly, believe it or not, how I found multiple winning products since that very first iPhone case success. So the very next store that I launched that was successful was from this exact method that I just showed you guys. So now let me show you how to validate these opportunities before deciding to spend any money on it. So running ads or creating your store, so on and so forth. Now, here's the thing that most people miss. Just because you see a product getting a ton of attention, that does not mean that it is ready to sell or that you're going to make any money selling the product. Trust me, I learned this the hard way. I remember those first few weeks of my store, I was literally living on the chicken, rice, pasta diet, burning through my savings on products that looked really good, but they never really ended up being a success. I wasn't able to sell much of them. And that's when I developed a very simple 3-step validation process. And this is exactly what I use before investing into any product. And it saved me thousands of dollars in testing costs. Here's what you need to do. All right, so step 1 is community check. So the first thing that you need to do is check for real community engagement. Here's exactly what separates winning markets from the ones that are losing markets. So when validating any market, here is what you're looking for, or like the good signals. People that are proudly sharing their collections or results. Gave you guys examples of the Hypebeast community, also with the Woobles. Comments showing genuine enthusiasm and expertise, active discussions about new releases or new techniques, whatever. Small group of established sellers. Now, ideally under 5, if you can go from there. If it's anything more than that, there's a ton of people that are selling it, then it's gonna be really tough. And then a quick little tip, pay attention to the language that they use. Every single passionate community has their own way of talking, whether it's sneakerheads saying copping, I caught this, or the fire drop, or arts and crafters talking about their WIP, their work in progress, however they may say. Now, the red flags to watch out for are the following: generic, where to buy, where can I get this type of comments, no specialized community hashtags, markets that are flooded with dropshippers selling, these very generic mini printers, stuff like that, and basic product photos with no text. They're basically just like taking the AliExpress white background image. That's not what you're looking for. Okay. Now here is why this matters. So when you see good signals, you're not just finding a product, you're finding a community that is ready to buy. Now I learned this firsthand with my store, but I've seen it work across dozens and dozens of different niches. Okay. 2, market size validation. So I want you to pull up any successful store in your niche and check their monthly traffic. you ideally want to be aiming for around 100K plus in website visitors to gauge the success of the company. And then like the direct versus social traffic ratio, like 30% plus is good, but don't worry about that too much. If they're getting eyeballs onto the website, that's great. And then, the time on the site, like over 2 minutes, like these are all these very micro analytical things that, yes, they kind of do matter, but bottom line, look at the total visits. And then with this website, it's pricey. The best thing that you guys can do, because it's like, I don't even know, like $100 something a month, not really worth it if you're just starting out. What you should do is, like, if you guys have multiple emails, create multiple emails and just keep signing up for the 7-day offers. Just remember to cancel it before that 7 days, because you don't want to get charged. And then like red flags, if the store is doing, with the example element cases, doing under 50K visitors, that's like not a good thing, especially if they're running ads. You look at their Facebook ad library, they're running a lot of ads and then they have less than 50K visitors. That's not a good thing. It means that they're trying to force their growth and they're not able to do so because they're not getting people onto the website. Step 3, competition analysis. So look for stores that are consistently running ads. Now you can do this by checking the Facebook ad library. So what's cool is this Facebook ad library literally is going to show us every single active ad from any company. This is what you guys should be like really looking at, because if we can get an idea of where they're spending the money, probably means that that's a good thing. They're making money. Right? So what's really good about this is you can really try and get an idea of how they're going about their marketing, right? If we can get an entire library of all their active ads, well, we can see, okay, this is the language that they're using to present to their audience. These are the ad creatives that are working really good for them. So if we see like all these ads they're running a bunch of this creative right here, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, all right, editors, why don't we try and make something very similar to this video? Because hey, if they're spending all this money on it, they're probably making money on it, right? They're not going to just put all this money behind these ads if it's not working. So you get an idea of what's actually working for the company. Now, we're not just looking to see if they're spending money, if they're running ads. What you're looking for is how long they've been running these ads, right? So you can see right here, this thing's been running since June 27, 2024. I have to check the calendar because I don't even know what day it is or month we're in. Okay, we're in February. But June, that's a long time. So 30 plus days is good. If they're just testing an ad and they just started yesterday or this week, it's not going to give us too much information. But if we see that they've been running this ad for years or a long time, over 30 days, and it's probably working well for them, because they're not going to just leave it on and let it spend for no reason. Which angles they're using. So really study the ads. What hooks are they using, right? So really study this ad library and to get an idea of what content is performing best for them. Now, if you see multiple stores that are spending consistently, that is going to be your green light and that there is real demand for this product or this community to tap into. So let me break this down to you exactly what you need to do in the next 24 hours. Now, please listen up. Please timestamp this so you guys can reference it again, come back to it. So step 1 is community research. First 30 minutes, let's just say that. Jump into Instagram Explore, start saving these posts that catch your attention, aim for anywhere 5 to 15. Focus on the accounts with real engagement, not just the numbers. People that are sharing stuff, talking with one another, helping one another, as we saw in the example. Step 2, this is like the market deep dive. We can just say this is the next hour. Pick one community that you actually understand and care about. If you don't understand anything about any of these communities, then do your research. Then find 2 stores that are already serving them successfully, okay? And you can do this by going onto Google, typing in the product, trying to find people that are ranking well, or do this on the ad library as well. Okay, then run them through our validation framework, right, that we just went over. If you need to reference that, go back to the timestamp. Step 3, opportunity validation. Use SimilarWeb or any other tool to verify that they're doing at least like $50,000 plus in monthly traffic. Note, SimilarWeb is expensive, so just use the trials. I don't want you guys to waste your money, especially if you're just starting out. Then check the Facebook ad library for consistent spenders, people that are spending a lot of money, running a lot of ads, running ads for a long time. And then study what type of content is actually converting, okay? Now, if you guys have one single takeaway from this video for the time that we've had together, I don't know how much time it's been, but remember what we learned today. You are not just looking for random products or people that are creating a lot of content or even spending a lot of money, but you're looking for communities that are ready to buy. Now, I know that I've covered a lot about finding the right products and markets, but if you're wondering about what are the next steps, how to actually set up your store, run profitable ads, and build this into a real business, I actually recently just dropped this complete step-by-step guide that walks you through everything that you need to know about starting your dropshipping business in 2025. And so on and so forth. So click the video that's popping up on the screen. And I also want you to drop a comment with the niche that you are researching, because I am curious about what y'all are researching and what you plan to sell. I think it's really interesting, and I will read the comments and I will respond. But anyway, let's keep crushing it. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.